Ciao tutti and welcome back to another episode of the Italian for a While podcast. Today we're here with Greta.
Hi everyone.
She's one of our American students. She's from San Francisco, and now I will let you introduce yourself a bit more. But first of all, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Of course, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I'm from California, the Bay Area, San Francisco. I grew up 2 years though in my childhood in Switzerland, so this is not my first time living in Europe, but it's my second time and I want to have a third time already. I always loved Europe. I've always loved traveling, so this was the perfect program for me.
That's why you're here, basically.
Yeah. And I finished my studies in San Francisco with a degree in fashion, so Milan was the perfect place.
You're already spoiling so many things that I wanted to ask you. No,
sorry.
this is perfect. This is perfect. Like we were going right into it. So my first question was actually, at which point in your life were you when you decided to come? So you said you had just graduated.
So actually, I wanted to come before I graduated. I got my visa and everything like a whole semester before I graduated, so that once I graduated, I could just leave and go. Mm-hmm. But I was kind of like, I knew I wanted to go abroad kind of early. My mom did it when she was in college too, so that was a big like thing she talked about that like always kind of shaped her life that I wanted to do too. And originally my school had some partnership with another school and they were going to send me to Paris, but then the school in Paris shut down. Mm. And so I found my own thing and I did all the work for the visa and found you guys, and then I finished that semester and left.
Okay, so you just wanted to leave before starting to work, basically.
Yeah, before, I feel like because I was working while I was in college as well, mm-hmm. and I had jobs in styling, personal styling, but in the Bay Area, the industry is kind of only a little bubble, like mm-hmm. you can only go so far, and I felt like if I was going to move and do something bigger, which I wanted to do, that I needed more experience somewhere with, like a fashion background to mm-hmm, it, like mm-hmm. in its culture. So I also love Italian designers and Italian clothes and everything about it. So I thought Milan was perfect. And
yeah, I mean, also Paris would have been nice, but I think that in the end Milan was really good.
My dream always. So I definitely knew I wanted to go to Milan over Paris, but I was like, I'll take Paris, but Milan was the better option for sure.
Nice. And what is it that made it click for you? I mean, was it just fashion, or is there any other reason why you picked Italy and Milan in particular?
So when, I think it was 2021, like when COVID kind of stopped, my whole family and I, like family, friends, and everyone, like I think it was a group of 30 of us.
Nice.
We all took a trip to Rome.
Oh, amazing.
And I think it was there, like that's when I was working and, in school and kind of on the pathway to going to Paris, but it was just like up in the air. That's when I knew, I was like, yeah, I think I need to go to Italy, not France. But yeah, I think that combination of that and also my favorite designers being Italian, like all of my school projects were on Italian designers. And then also as I got along farther in school, I was learning more about, Italian art and stuff. So I thought it would be cool to be somewhere, that I had the knowledge of the culture in the background. So
yeah.
And
so far you think that your choice has paid off? Like, I mean, have you had the chance to learn something new and reach yourself on that kind of thing?
Yeah, for sure. And I was also kind of at a point in my life where I was like, I could move to LA, I could do, that and like get a job there, whatever, or I could get more experience and like use this time while I'm young still to, grab that. And, when you're in your 20s, you're still kind of lost, like kind of figuring everything out. And I feel like coming here really grounded me and like I had a lot of time to think and, observe also and be a part of some really cool stuff that like helped me figure out what I really want to do. And like I definitely think I want to work for an Italian brand, or at least like when I get back maybe online, but in the future I definitely want to work for an Italian brand. I just love their fashion, like the culture, the like everything about it is just appealing to me. Like I love it. And I think coming here definitely showed me that too, because I always knew I loved like Italian fashion, but the Italian culture is just something else. Like it's like I love it.
Yeah, that was another one of my questions. I wanted to ask you, other than fashion, what can you appreciate of Italy? And I think like you just briefly
Yeah.
answered.
Oh my gosh, everything. The people are, warming, like they're warm, they're welcoming. The food is amazing. Like it's just, I don't know, it's just a simple life, and everybody like society kind of caters to the quality of life, not the quality of, like in America, it's like you gotta work and make your money and then buy your house and do this. But here it's like you enjoy your life, you enjoy your job, you enjoy your days, have an aperitivo, like in
Yeah, enjoy the
America.
moment.
Yeah, it's where I come from in the Bay Area, at least it's just like very fast paced life, and it's hard to be creative in like that type of setting because you're just thinking about other things all the time, rent, bills, whatever. And here it's kind of society is just more, catered to the vita dolce.
To the dolce vita.
Dolce vita.
Dolce vita. Yes. Yeah, but anyways, I understood what you mean. Yeah, yeah, of course. And think that like we are here in Milan and you picked this city, and
Yeah.
stereotypically, but even I would say it's pretty true. People from Italy say that here in the north, everyone is super fast paced. So if you got that vibe by living here, I imagine if you were to go like in the center or the south of Italy, it would be even
Yeah,
way more like
I know.
relaxed. So I mean, yeah, but I can totally understand. Like even compared to here in the US, it's way more like focused on like you divide your life in steps. Like you graduate, you start working, you get your car, then you get your apartment, then you marry.
Yeah,
Then
everything is very black and white there. I feel like, you have to take this one path. You go to high school, you go to college, you get your degree, then you get your job, and then you marry, whatever. You have kids and get your own house. And I don't know, here it's just like you enjoy your life, you do what you love, your family, helps. It's normal for your family to,
be
be
involved.
involved in your life. Yeah, like that's another thing that in America, it's like once you're an adult, like you're on your own, like societally, like you're off of your parents' health insurance. Like there's like even laws about it. Like it's just how society is there. But here, it's like normal for your family to stay a part of your life, and like people are friends since they're born and everything. Like I love it here.
I'm so happy.
I could go on.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm sure that the list could go on. But yeah, no, I'm happy that the choice that you made was then like paid off.
Yes,
And I wanted to ask you, what about the school? How's it going with the language? I know that you found like a lot of friends there. So like how's it going on your day to day? Like tell me about like a typical day that you have here and like how our class is going and all this stuff.
Yeah, so basically I went for 3 months straight, I guess, and then I took a break for a month, and now I'm just coming back. But for the first 3 months, I would go to class all day, and then usually after class get, lunch or a drink with some friends from class. And then every week they had the tours somewhere, so we would always sign up for those. So one of the days we, go somewhere like some museum or some place that was famous. And it's cool also having the or like the fashion background, because I had art history classes and I learned about some of the things that I got to see.
Nice.
So it was like full circle moments. But yeah, then after we would sometimes go, if it was, like Thursday or Friday, sometimes go have another drink, have dinner, go to a bar, or, you know, do something else. But other days people had work or, you know, just wanted to go home or walk their dogs. So we would just go home, and then you kind of have your own time to clean, make dinner, and then, yeah, like it's a very simple but fun life. And I've made so many friends through the school. All of my, and like really, like I can tell solid friends who will probably be in my life forever. Like one of my friends has already moved back to France, and this is probably like my best friend I made here. And she doesn't know a word of English. So we only speak in Italian.
Oh, that's amazing.
And she put some French in her Italian, and I put some Spanish in mine, and you know it works. But like, we have such a deep friendship, and we don't even like come from the same place or speak the same language at the beginning. But that was kind of really one of my motivations to learn Italian faster, because I wanted to be able to talk to her about everything.
Yeah.
So also I feel like on, you know, personal and the school excursions, we learned a lot more Italian too, because we would be out in society and you learn like things, you know, society says. Like her and I have another friend, and us three would always go to the club on the weekend, and I feel like there was when I learned the most Italian.
Of course, because you start to speak outside of school.
Exactly. So yeah, and then the school was super nice about me coming back too. I came back late because I got sick and I had to stay for a couple days in America. So I came back like a week later than I told them, and they were really nice about it. And you know, they suggested that I like take it easy for the first couple weeks and like relearn some things and then go back to my class. So right now I'm like still with the, I'd say I think beginners, but it's a little easy, but it's good.
Yeah, just to refresh.
It's good to step back in.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're not one of those Americans that stick with Americans. You actually got to like make friends and speak Italian outside of class.
None of my friends are American.
Nice, good girl.
And usually the least favorite people in the class were
Americans.
American. For me.
Okay, so you really got used to like other cultures.
Yes, I really did. And then when I visited home, I was like, oh.
Yeah, I know, this happens.
I literally stayed in my parents' house with my boyfriend the entire time. Like I was like, I'm not going outside dealing with these people.
Okay, yeah, actually this is something that I wanted to ask you, like, what's the difference in lifestyle that you see here compared to back home? Because, we already mentioned something, but like...
Yeah, everything. But the biggest thing was I walk everywhere here. Like, I take the tram. I get confused on the metro sometimes. I end up in...
That's how you learn?
Everywhere, you know? But I prefer the tram, bus, or walk. And I love to walk, actually. Like, that is something I found out here, too. I like walking. But I basically sold my car to come here. So now in America, I don't have a car. And America is built so that people have cars and need to drive from point A to point. You can't take public transportation to most places, and like you have to find a ride, and it's weird to walk. Like I would walk to get my cat food, and people would look at me weird, and I would be the only one walking. And it was just like, it felt so weird. And I was like, I'm just walking.
Yeah.
This would be normal. I would be dodging people on the street in Milan. But yeah, like the healthy, like active lifestyle you have to have here, they don't in America. It's about convenience over there. Like the refrigerators. They're 10 times the size in America, so that you only have to go grocery shopping once.
Yeah.
And the food doesn't expire.
Yeah.
Because it tastes like garbage, and it can be in your fridge for 10 weeks and not rot, so you don't have to go to the grocery store again. It's just very convenient there. But I also noticed that my stomach was killing me every time I ate anything back home. So I had to be careful with what I was eating, and like that kind of made me more of like a conscious eater, at least back at home. But here I can eat whatever I want and not, have stomach problems. Yeah. So the food and like just the lazy, convenient lifestyle of America versus the active, like enjoyable lifestyle here. But yeah, like nobody has clothing racks in America. The washers are like this big.
Yeah, I remember like
you can fit like a family of fours, like stuff for a week in there. But yeah, that was the biggest difference.
Yeah. Nice. I mean, nice. Yeah, I mean, it's always like you see two sides when you leave home. You see so many nice things, but also like it helps you maybe realize some things that you were used to that are not like the only option.
Exactly, and I only didn't have a car for, like a few weeks before I came here, and I was traveling. Like I was saying bye to my grandma, my best friend. So I was traveling mostly and I didn't need a car. But this was the first time like I didn't have a car by choice in America, and I was like, well, I did not realize how much you need a car here also, and it's like you shouldn't need a car, like.
I know I think it's one of the biggest cultural shocks that I hear from you students. Like you're not the first one, of course, to tell me something like that. Like all the American students that I speak to, they always mention these, like sooner or later.
Yeah. And like I live on the peninsula of the bay, so
I mean, and in San Francisco you also have like
there's metros. So I mean in San Francisco though, I live like 60 kilometers south, like in the peninsula. So basically like not an island, but like almost, almost you have to take a bridge to where I live, and like. They don't have a metro. There's only buses, and it only goes down one road. Like only one bus. I don't know. I was just shocked. Thank God my parents live, in the center, like downtown of the city I live in. But I would have, if I was in the hills or something, I would have been dead. Toast. Yeah, like
nice.
Able to get nowhere.
I mean, now you know it, and maybe when you're gonna be back, you'll have to buy a new car. I don't know.
Yeah, or also,
not be back.
Yeah. Or that.
But anyways, now let's go back to Milano. And first of all, I wanted to ask you. Of course, we follow you on your Instagram account, and you follow the Italianforawhile page, and so I mean, we stay connected in a way or another. I always see you in very cool places, and I know that some are like the excursions that you go with the school. Then I see you clubbing with your friends. So I wanted to ask you, like, how, especially at the beginning when you arrived, how did you find things to do? Like, how did you started hanging out? How did you discover your favorite places? Tell me, like, how everything happened.
So, for daytime places, I have, like, two separate things for nighttime and daytime.
Of course.
But for daytime places, I like to walk back from school. Even when it was bad weather, I just like to walk back because I live just far enough that it's, like, a mile. Sorry to be American, but I want to get 1 mile a day at least. And
how is it like in minutes, more or less, to go back?
Like
walking?
45.
Yeah. Okay.
Whatever. But I like to walk back home, and I think for the daytime spots, I would just take different routes. See something and go in. Like, my favorite store here is probably Surplus in Brera. I love that thrift store. I get everything there, I swear. And that was, like, just me walking back from school. And then with my friends a lot, we would also be walking back from school. Like, go to a place that was kind of convenient for us to get to the tram back or to walk or whatever. The Park Sempione is so big that like it's connected to everything. So I go there a lot with my friends. Like we just go 10, bring a blanket, some beers, and a speaker.
Yeah.
And that's like we're 4 hours, like we'll go
In the blink of
by,
an eye, yeah.
And I love doing that. So I do that a lot with my friends just at the park, and that was on my way home.
Yeah, so you're just, I mean,
Yeah.
it's a big park, so
Yeah.
eventually you were gonna
Yeah.
notice.
And then like little tiny, like matcha places, and because I go through Chinatown, so
Okay.
I found little matcha places that I liked, and then just by like walking places, like I had an appointment with my landlord, and I found where I get the croissants I get every day, and like my favorite cafe, just by walking to that appointment. And then trying also something new every day. Like there's bars on every corner. If you want a certain, like one day you get coffee from here and one day you get coffee from there on your way, like
Yeah.
you'll find your favorite. So
Yeah.
I found my favorite spots like doing that, kind of exploring. And then at night, my friends and so one of my friends is still in college, like high school, but college here.
Università. University.
Uh,
Because high school is liceo, so like up to
maybe
18.
Yeah, she's 18.
Okay, then
So I
maybe
think
she's still in high school.
Yeah, and she always has like events for us to go to.
Okay, so
at
you found like an
clubs.
insider.
Yeah, and her parents are young and they've lived here for a while, and like she always knows what to do. So I found a little insider, and then we made more friends, and now I have like friends in Italy who work as promoters for clubs or for events and no events, and they'll invite me to stuff. And then my friends from school also, one of my friends is a fashion stylist for a brand, and he gets invited to a lot of fashion events. I went to one last night, and it was so fun, and it was like outdoors. They had a DJ, everything.
Nice. Yeah, in Milan, I mean, they do so many things like that. So
Yeah, so I basically, like, he invites me to those, and, I network more, but just through people and also through, trying new things while you're, even if you don't have time, if you think you don't have time, just stop in and get a coffee somewhere, and maybe it's better than any coffee you've ever tried. So
yeah.
you never know.
If you never try, you never know, basically.
Exactly.
That's a very nice takeaway.
Yeah.
Okay, so actually you kind of answered already, but I wanted to ask you your 3 favorite spots in Milan. Like if someone were to come and had never seen the city, what would you suggest? Like, because you mentioned the shop and the park, but like something for someone that really has to see in Milan.
So, okay, so I'm going to say one thing for the morning. Cafe McMahon. Best brioches, best coffee, best prices, best environment. They love you. They also have like panini for lunch. They have aperitivo. They're open all day. I would say definitely go there.
Nice, because aperitivo, it's a nice part.
Yeah,
it's
and
important.
it's not a famous place, so you're not going to see a ton of, like, a line ever or a ton of people, and it's a very neighborhood, like, place, but they love business. They're always nice. They always, like, ask if you want anything, if you are taking too long there, but they're very nice there, and the food is very nice. And then the next thing, I would say to go to a market, like an open air market. There are a ton here in Milan. There's so many stands too. You can buy vegetables, you can buy designer bags, you can buy jewelry, you can buy knockoff jewelry. Like these Bottega earrings are fake, and they were €4 at the market. You can buy clothes, you can buy houseware, everything for really cheap, and it's all like really convenient. Usually Saturdays there's markets. There's one near Chinatown. There's one also.
The one in Navigli. There's one in Brera.
Brera. Yeah, there's so many. Like if you just look it up, or even walk around, I'm sure you'll run into one. And there's signs usually that will say like the area of the market and what days and what times they are. So definitely go to one of those markets. I'd rather shop there than the stores here even. Like I love getting fresh, even for like food, like fresh vegetables, fresh fruits. It tastes so good from the market. And it's very, very like economic. It's very cheap. So great idea.
Yeah.
And then last thing, you have to see the nightlife. I think my favorite club I went to so far, or my favorite night I went to so far was 90s night at Alcatraz. It's not like, it's a really big club. It's kind of like a warehouse club, but they have a stage and they had Mario Kart strippers performing. What? It was the best thing ever. I was like, this is so fun. I took my boyfriend. It was for my birthday. I took my boyfriend and my whole friends, and we had like the best time ever. And it didn't get too crowded. A lot of the clubs here in Milan, like, either fill up and you can't get in after like midnight, or they're just really full. But this one was good, and the drinks weren't too expensive. If you're just, visiting or like your first club, like I think this is a really good one to go to for your first experience. Like there's performance, there's a DJ, there's, drinks, there's a couple different rooms. So if you don't like the music in one room, you can go to another.
Nice. You see, you taught me something. Like I think I've never been there. Maybe
Yeah,
it's the age difference or something.
Here.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of like out of the way, but it's also, it's good. But a lot of people, like I felt like I was the youngest person there. So yeah, usually the clubs here, it's a lot of younger people, but that club, it wasn't like the annoying young crowd. That's
so nice. You gave a really nice tip for people when they come. Okay.
Yeah. So I like that, and it's not expensive to go. So perfect.
Nice.
Nice
Now I wanted to ask you something back to your fashion background, because I'm really curious to hear your opinion on these. You know, the stereotypes that people have on everyone dresses perfectly in Italy or like that kind of stuff. I want your honest opinion. Like, what did you see in the streets of Milan?
My honest opinion was I've seen what they wear in America and I've seen what they wear here. And the difference is that people don't leave the house until they're ready here. People leave the house in America 3 seconds after they wake up. Hair messy, in their pajamas, coffee stains, slippers. They don't care. So it's normal to wear like sweats and a hoodie and go out in America. Like no one's gonna look at you weird. Here, if you do that, like people are gonna be like, is she okay? Like does she need a coffee? Like, but it's just like people get ready before they leave the house here, which makes perfect sense. And then also, people don't just like stop, like they don't give up on getting ready at a certain age here. Even the older crowd, like people over 70, I will see wearing suits. Like in America, people prefer comfort over anything, and I don't think I've ever seen a 70-year-old in anything other than sweatpants and like really, really chunky like Skechers. So there's that. And then I think people just take better care of themselves here hygienically. Like there's kind of higher standards in Europe for hygiene. Just in general, like even on the streets, there's not litter, people throw things away. In America, like there's litter, people throw their stuff on the ground. And like they don't skincare is like a new thing there. Like I'm sure Italy has always had like a routine of skin, like in like grandmas passed down their secret remedies and whatever.
I mean, for sure there's a lot of like handmade stuff.
Like everybody's skin is so perfect. So like I'm guessing there's some remedy, but in America, people just like don't take care of themselves at a certain age. They kind of just let go. So I think that's the biggest difference. I don't think like necessarily everybody's dressed to their best capacity at all
Okay. Yeah.
times here. Like if somebody wants to wear like joggers, they will, but they'll make it look good and they'll get ready too. They're not gonna just like walk out in their pajamas.
Okay, okay. I think this is like more honest, rather than just saying, "Oh, everyone dresses well." No, because I'm Italian and I say like, "No, it's not true." So I absolutely what you said makes sense, and I agree. Like I did a semester in the States, as I told you, so I can really like. I remember people coming to class like in flip flops, wet
Oh my
hair, like pajamas. So really, yeah, that's a big difference.
Yeah, and I mean, also it's just like in America, it's kind of trendy. Like I remember at least at my or was at my high school, it was kind of trendy to like wear. I grew up at a high school where it was like mostly Latino and some, like mixture of like Polynesian, and then there was like white kids too mixed in there, but like it was a trend to wear like all black sweats, hoodie, or like your pajamas or whatever, because that's kind of just what everybody wore. But like I don't know why it was a trend, but
Well, I mean, actually, I've seen a lot of like content on social media of Americans saying that us Italians wear a lot of black and a lot of blue. And they were like just going around and showing people and like, you see blue. But then like with black, I can agree a bit because I see it also like with my friends from Spain, for example. They're always saying like, "Oh, you guys wear so much black."
well,
Maybe
Spain
now,
is like very colorful in
yes,
their
it's true.
fashion.
Now maybe it's a bit different, but when I was like 16, 17, I remember
Yeah.
like black was the main color. Maybe
Yeah.
now we're getting a bit more like colorful.
Yeah, I think so. And like especially with like trends going back to like year 2000, everybody wants to be like as colorful and
Yeah,
bright
now
as
I think that is kind of
possible.
bit like worldwide trend now.
Yeah, but I think my high school was just lazy. Like people were like working shifts the whole night and showing up to school. Like it was I don't blame anyone for wearing pajamas, and I don't think I ever went to school not in pajamas.
Okay.
So I'm being a hypocrite.
No,
but
no, I mean, you come here, it's not only
Yeah.
to learn the language, to learn the culture, but also like to realize these kind of things. So, I
Yeah,
mean,
exactly. And now I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna want to walk. I'm gonna want to go on my walks. I'm gonna want to,
do my skincare.
yeah, do my skincare. I'm gonna want to dress better and not just roll out of bed. Like,
No, makes sense.
it all will click.
Of course. Okay, now before leaving you, I have one question slash game for you. Okay? So, tell me, if Milan were an object, what would it be?
An object. I think if Milan were an object, it would be the Prada nylon boots, but without a platform. And you know why?
Yes, tell me,
And
please.
black.
Okay.
The lace-up ones. Because A, they're comfortable to walk in.
Okay, nice.
B, they're Prada.
Of course.
And C, they're fashionable. They go with everything. They cater to, fashion and you being, comfortable walking long distances in them. And they're just so like they're like those shoes. Like everybody wants them.
So Milano as an object, a stylish, fancy shoe.
Yeah, basically like a tall boot. A tall
Nice.
compact boot.
Love it. Okay. If Milano were a color,
A color. I would say blue is usually associated with like I would say like baby blue,
okay.
because like
Why?
dark blue is like associated with like being sad, I feel like, but like clear blue is like, or like, lighter blue is like associated with clarity. And I feel like for me personally, I came here and like a lot of things just became a lot more mentally clear to me. And like the culture here and the reason that people do things here, it's very like clear, and it's also like very calm, and it's also very like I don't know, like
Gave
very,
you the
very
perspective
blue.
and clarity
Yeah.
that you needed.
Exactly, and like this color blue, it's just like a nice,
Love it.
like, yes, like you have your stuff together.
Very nice. Next one. If Milano were a scent, what would it be?
I would say, if Milano were a scent, I would say YSL Libre.
What?
It's like a perfume. It's popular. It's by YSL, but it's called Libre.
Ah, Yves Saint Laurent.
Yeah, Yves Saint
Okay. YSL. It took me a while. Okay. Yes. I know that perfume. Okay, I cannot think of the
Yeah.
smell, but please tell me why.
It smells really, like, it just smells really bougie, but it also smells like floral a little bit.
Okay.
Like, it has like the tangy notes of like floral, and I feel like Milan, it's like very, bougie. We gotta be put together, and then, but it also has the element of like community and like the markets, and like it's really beautiful here. You can walk like 1 kilometer and go to a little lagoon and just sit and enjoy your day. It's wholesome.
Nice. So also the scent is like a mix of exclusivity, but also like warmth.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. If Milan were a person,
If Milan were a person.
also like not famous, like someone that would remind you of Milan and why?
I would say, okay, wait, I gotta think. If Milan were a person, this one's hard. If Milan were a person, it would be A$AP Rocky.
Okay, why?
Because the music he makes, it's like very like, it's considered rap, but I listen to rap and it's very like spatial, and it has like, references to like old music, and it's very musical. In the backgrounds, he always has like really nice beats, and he's always talking about like real stuff. It's not about like typical things rappers talk about. But A$AP Rocky, you see like pictures and videos of him, and he's just like super happy all the time. He's a chill guy. He has a great style. He owns like everything, and like he's with Rihanna, who's the like baddest girl ever, and I don't know, I think he's just always like giving good vibes, like good positive vibes, even in the music. And I think like him mixed with the fashion, it's kind of like Milan.
Nice. I like all the connections that you're making.
Yeah.
Between like Italy and like your kind of background from the US, you're trying to like...
I'm like A$AP Rocky.
Nice. Milano as a person. Okay, and last one, Milan as a dish.
Milan as a dish. Well, I would say the Milanese risotto.
La cotoletta o risotto? Risotto.
But I don't think so. I think Milan as a dish would be pizza marinara.
Ah, okay. Why?
Because it's just, you don't think it's gonna taste like super good, and you don't think it's gonna be better than the other pizzas, but it is.
I love it. Bellissimo. Makes perfect sense, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And you gotta find your place in Milan, and then it's perfect. And like just like on the marinara pizza, you gotta like find the right amount of basil to put on it, right amount of oil, and then it's perfect. It's like better than any pizza you've ever eaten.
I really like
You don't even need the cheese.
Nice, perfetto. Greta, thank you so much. This was really fun.
Of course. Thank you.
Just I'll see you soon.
Yes.
And thank you again really for coming here and taking the time.
Of course.
And we will say bye to everyone. Thanks for watching.
Bye. Thank
Ciao.
you. Ciao.